After his Golden Boot win at the 2018 World Cup, Harry Kane's reputation was at an all-time high. The English striker had hit at least 21 league goals in each of the previous 4 seasons, had been awarded the Premier League's Player of the Month award more times than Lampard, Shearer and Rooney, and had narrowly missed out on becoming the first player since Thierry Henry to finish as the Prem's top scorer 3 times in a row. He was undoubtedly the best number 9 in England and was arguably in the conversation for the world's best along with Robert Lewandowski and Cristiano Ronaldo. But the following season he was hit by 2 ligament injuries and quickly resembled a shadow of his former self. Kane suddenly looked off the pace, less mobile and less prolific after repeatedly rushing back from the treatment table. Typified by his performance in the Champions League final against Liverpool, where he mustered fewer shots and fewer key passes than left-back Danny Rose. However, 18 months later, and it appears the England captain has regained the ruthlessness and consistency that originally made him the league's most feared marksman, and is playing some of the best football of his career. How has he done it? Let's find out. We're not the first to say it, but it looks more and more like English football's prolonged hiatus following the COVID outbreak of early 2020 did wonders for Harry Kane's career. When the Premier League was postponed in mid-March, the Tottenham striker was 2 weeks off returning from a 2-month layoff, during a season in which his attacking numbers had already fallen considerably. He was taking just 2.8 shots a game, the lowest average of his career, and was also creating less than a chance per match, his worst showing in 5 years. While initially not being allowed access to the club's training facilities and staff may have set his recovery back by days or even weeks, the break in the season, which lasted for over 3 months, meant that when he finally did return to the side in June, he looked fitter than he had in 2 years, having been able to train for longer in preparation for first-team football. Between October 2014 and January 2019, the Spurs striker missed just 9 Premier League fixtures and played in 2 international tournaments, meaning that with the exception of summer 2015, he practically didn't stop playing for over 4 years. It was clear Kane had needed a break, and his post-lockdown form said as much. Following the restart, the 27-year-old hit the back of the net every 116 minutes, a huge improvement on his average of a goal every 162 minutes before his injury, and he has only built on this in the new campaign. Kane is now taking 4.5 shots a match, the second highest average of his career, and is currently operating at 0.67 non-penalty expected goals per 90, his best rate since his 30-goal season of 2017-18. Not only has he regained that extra yard, but he also looks sharper, able to find the best positions from which to utilise his superb finishing with greater efficiency. Of course, this isn't just down to Kane. Spurs look overall a more functional attacking outfit in the early game weeks of the 2020-21 campaign, ranking 2nd for goals, 4th for shots and 2nd for expected goals after 8 fixtures. Last season they ranked 11th for shots and scored on average 1.6 goals a game, which has shot up to 2.4 so far this term. Other players who have shone include Tanguy Ndombele, who looks much better in a more advanced position, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who has added a solid base from which to build attacks from defensive midfield, and Sergio Reguilón, whose speed, dynamism and creativity from left-back gives the side an extra advantage on the counter. With a better team around him, Kane was always going to get better scoring chances, but he has also himself become a far more effective player in build-up. His chance creation is the highest it's ever been, and he is taking a more active role in getting the ball up the field, ranking 3rd in the squad for progressive passes. This isn't necessarily new for the Englishman. He has always been known for dropping deep to provide ball progression and release his teammates out wide. But while in the past it often hindered the Spurs' attack, exposing the side's lack of technical prowess in the midfield and bringing Kane out of the areas in which he was most dangerous, it now works brilliantly in their more counter-attacking system under Jose Mourinho. And of course there is his partnership with Heung-Min Son, who is the greatest recipient of his newfound creative edge. 7 of Kane's 8 league assists this term have been for the Korean, and by the end of October they had combined for 29 Premier League goals, equaling the totals managed by Thierry Henry and Robert Pires, as well as David Silva and Sergio Aguero, and creeping closer to the record of 36 set by Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba. Right now, Harry Kane is a more complete attacker than at any stage in his career, currently producing at a higher rate that Robert Lewandowski did last season. Doing it across the whole campaign will of course be tricky, but it still represents an incredible transformation for a man who just 12 months ago was struggling to recapture his magic. So that is why Harry Kane is the Premier League's best striker again. But what did you make of it? Let us know in the comments below, as well as any of your own suggestions for any FD Explains we can do in the future. If you enjoyed this video, of course, don't forget to leave it a like and subscribe to Football Daily if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.